In this video, we continue the series of my channel of stress and burnout at work. Hi everybody, my name is Will Humphreys, and if you're new to my channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button below. That makes it possible for me to make videos for you to increase your income, impact, and freedom. Today in episode 4, we talk about the top 10 causes of stress and burnout. So first of all, I want you to think about the influences of stress as either internal or external sources. In terms of internal causes or influences, think of your life as overlapping circles with the many things that you're responsible for. The outermost circle is your work. The second circle below that, your family. Then you have your physical, and lastly, your mental. Any sort of problem in the innermost circles is going to be felt with greater turbulence in the outer circles. So understanding that balance is an overview of all of these domains in our lives simultaneously. It makes it possible to see how that if we're struggling with our mental health, first of all with actual problems like anxiety or depression, we are going to have a harder time dealing with the stressors at work. Likewise, studies have shown that certain personality traits make it to where it's harder to deal with work. If we're a people pleaser, for example, or if we're unable to compartmentalize and stop thinking about work when we get home, and especially if we're unable to say no. These are things that make it harder for us to deal with the stressors coming from work. Likewise, our physical health is a greater influence. So if we have sickness or disease, for example, that can be something that makes it harder for us to cope. As well as diet and exercise. Richard Branson, the CEO of Virgin Media, indicated the greatest thing he's ever done towards his success is exercise. He's learned the importance of hacking into his system to access those chemicals to produce within him the ability to be powerful. So once we look at those internal influences, now we can look at the external influences, meaning these are things that the company brings to the table that are influencing our stress and burnout. These can be further categorized into being overworked or us being misaligned. So starting off with being overworked, the three major categories there would be a lack of training, being undervalued, and having a lack of time. Lack of training is pretty obvious. If we're not given the right tools or training to do our job, even if we're not producing a normal amount of volume for our job, it's going to feel overwhelming. Likewise, if we are able to handle our workload, but we're not being paid the right amount, or if we're just simply not being praised in a way to where that means that we feel valued, it's also going to feel excessive over time. And then if we are appreciated and well paid and trained, but we are working so much that we just don't have time for our family, that is a lack of time influence of being overworked. Now we're going to jump right into the misalignment influences that come from our company to us. So to explain misalignment, we have to first understand what it means to be aligned. Being aligned in a company is a matter of having a win-win relationship between you and the company you're working for. That means you agree with where the company is going and what the company is currently doing and how they do it. Oftentimes, when we are misaligned, what happens is we create a win-lose relationship, a lose-lose relationship, or a lose-win, where we no longer agree with how the company operates or where it's going. Misalignment occurs in three major areas. We're either misaligned with management, culture, or the industry itself. When we're misaligned with management, that means we no longer see eye to eye with our boss. Maybe we don't get along personally, maybe we just don't like their management style. Either way, bosses account for a large percentage of burnout and stress at work. Second is culture. Culture describes how a company feels when you work there, and it is mostly influenced by the people and the clients you serve. So if, for example, you're in a toxic environment where there's a lot of back talking, that is an example of being misaligned within the company culture. And then lastly, there's industry misalignment. I have coached individuals who have come to the realization that they are no longer aligned with being a healthcare provider or being a provider of care, but they want to go into management. People who are unwilling to see that they are no longer aligned with the industry burn out quickly. So guys, now we understand those top 10 causes of stress and burnout. I want you to remember, as always, that there is always hope. In our next video, we get right into the cure. Episode 5 is the stress and burnout cure, part 1 of 2. And the question of the day is, which of the causes of stress and burnout are probably the most common in your opinion? Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, click like and subscribe. As always, every subscription results in a donation to feed my starving children. Until next time.